this means reasonable. If you can fear something which is real, which is there, whereas until now we rather talked about some illusions and so on, and this would some sort of make fear obsolete as well, and this is, I would say, rather insufficient. That's why we have to inquire further. I mean, one thing we have to clear beforehand, and this is what I will argue as well as this. Of course, I mean, we talked about fear is an imminent danger. It is noxious, which we came up with this definition on Google and Merriam-Webster, so that you try to avoid something harmful. Fear is something that you could be exposed to a situation. This is what we said. Fear is the situation is very important. It is rather the object is secondary. This is what we saw with the car as well. The object is secondary. It is rather what the object gives you, what the object comes with, as well as with friends or whatever. I mean, if you have a very, I would say, very famous friends, celebrities, whatever, then of course this comes with prestige, and people are not really interested in the object, but rather with the prestige with what it comes. For example, if someone wants to steal someone's identity, it is partially only this person partially only dreams of being this another person whose identity he or she has stolen, but it is rather about the prestige that comes with it, and so on, and people are thinking about it, and this is then when fear is rather real the situation, and you could be exposed to a situation which in a way could be inevitable, and this is what we will talk about it right now, because we do not live in an archaic society anymore where fear, despite the fact that we are in the pandemic, I mean here in the pandemic, fear that you could catch this coronavirus is real, especially if you are old, if you have reached a certain age, or if you are some sort of part of this group whatsoever. You are afraid of catching this virus in a way or another. However, but besides this pandemic fear in that sense, or we do not have to fear anymore to be eaten by wild animals, or that you some sort of could not defend yourself against wild animals in that sense, or that we would live in societies entirely lawless. I mean, of course, I know what I'm talking about. It is not always the case, and some of us, they live indeed in lawless societies. I mean, this is something we should not sweep aside. Nevertheless, overall, in a civilized society whatsoever, we do not fear for our lives anymore, because fear in that sense would really mean that you are put into a position where the result could be your death. This is what it means. Your physical death, but now now of course we know that fear in that sense, especially in social media and so on, that death can have many meanings. I mean, it can be considered obviously physical death or fear of death. However, but in this modern society, it is you can consider, and this is what we will see as well as among many young folks, that this is that you could be outcast, that you could not be part of a society, of a group, whatever, that you have then or that you live in a social caste, because this is as well as those places where you belong to. So it is not very easy. I mean, if you're the upstarter, despite the fact that everyone is talking about free opportunities whatsoever, so it has become more and more difficult to be the son or daughter of an uneducated educated person and then rise through the ranks, because now the schools and everything has become difficult and so on. But as well as, so this means that fear of being an outcast comes as well as with the loss of certain privileges. We talked about this. I mean, there are many privileges, and that you could then lose them, fall them, whatever it is. Um, and this would mean that fear would then mean that you are put into a situation where you then lose the equality, lose the same opportunities as well. And this has, of course, a huge impact on your life, on your future, what could be of you, and as well as we will see later as on your identity, because your groups, social groups, whatever it is, they are part of your belonging, part of your identity, whatever. Because we have a lot of young folks who even commit suicide because they're outcasted in a way. So fear, in that sense, in our society, have to be, or if you want, you can consider social media as a jungle where people go after each other. So social media can be really nasty and brutal. Believe me, if you're out the other end of the spectrum, then there is really tough, and people are mean. They are mean, or they can be mean, especially if they are far away. Then it is always easier. I mean, if you do not have to face someone, it is always easier to talk about or in a way to brag or talk more than you should do. However, but this is as well very important. So one major issue in our time is being socially outcast, and this despite the fact that relationships became looser. I mean, this is what you see on Facebook, and we talked about it a little bit. So that this friendship has, in a way, a new meaning, a new understanding, a new social bonds have a different understanding, but nevertheless, social bonds are rather about value, how you value yourself, about the presumption of your self and so on. But as well as that we have to or that we always identify with a group. This group gives us, we depend on a group, a special people, whatever it is, and this special group where we belong to gives us meaning and some sort of happiness, self-value. You could then see some sort of an objective. You belong to a special circle. In school is this, and in school you always find this, and Hollywood some sort of always plays this game over and over again. I mean, this is from a European perspective. You always watch this with awe, and you never really know, is this real? Is this how American high school work? Or I don't know, does every American play football? Yes, no, well, I don't know. In Europe, people mostly play soccer. However, it is, I mean, Hollywood shows it, that you always see that some sort of cliques or groups in school, and that some people always want to belong to them. And if you fall out, if you're not part of this, then this is some sort of harmful for you. Or there are even studies on social media that you get addicted to likes, and that you really need those likes, and these likes on social media, they are like a drug for you, and they, these likes and so on, they really give you meaning, they give you importance whatsoever. It's for what you get this like whatsoever. This is part of your identity. This is part of your understanding of your association chain. This is a very word I want to talk about as well. And this would then mean, or how can we draw some sort of hate there? I mean, because this is what we will always try to seek, always correlated. I mean, this is where we try to some sort of draw the bridge to other thing, because fear, we said, is an emotion which could lead to hate, and there we could some sort of, where I try to draw a bridges that those social groups, this is especially with secret societies or whatever you have. I mean, with any sorority groups, whatever you have, they have always some sort of rituals. They have some sort of certain entry, because every group whatsoever is special, or can only be special by excluding others. Because if everyone can join it, then where is the value of it? So value, in a way, is always considered, is either scarcity. I mean, it is either real scarcity, or is perceived scarcity, where like you would you can of course create scarcity. This is nothing which is out of thinking it, and it has been done quite often in business. For example, if you produce rare cars, rare jewelry, whatever, the real thing is that they are valuable, as well as it comes with financial privileges that other people are exempt from having access to it. This makes things valuable as well, and then those groups with all these rituals and so on, they could be some sort of exhausting, that you could think, I mean, I have to go through all this procedure, whatever it is, and then I don't get anything in return. This is what you would see, some sort of an in-object relationship, that you closely encounter what you have brought into or what's your input in this relationship, and what do you get, what is your output, and then if the output does not match the input, you some sort of go frustrated, hateful, whatever it is. So this could be one explanation where people could consider vengeful, whatever. Or if you want to see, I mean, we talked about this with individuals. I mean, if you see your friends or whatever you have as an extension of yourself, then those friends, they could indeed disappoint you. Disappointment then would mean when they do not act as they should be. I mean, or when they reflect badly upon you. I mean, I know no experience, of course. This is when my older brother decided to be a transsexual. I mean, this was unheard of in our society, and I quite frankly did not know about it for a long time. It was kept from me. I only heard it very late, where it was probably too late. However, this led to a lot of hate, a lot of anger here in Turkey. People were upset, people were mad, because these people, they came from a certain social background, where people are connected to each other, where people know each other, and so this then reflected badly on them, because everyone in your family, whatever, they are being considered as an extension of you. So here in Turkey, this led to a lot of violence even against me, because I was his brother, whatever. I mean, I didn't even knew it at that time. It was kept from me for whatever reason it is. I mean, we talked about it as well. One of the reasons why people do not tell you things is because they want to have power over you, or they just like you, or they just want you to get lost in a maze, whatever it is. I mean, you could see some sort of these family, friends, whatever they are